Hello class 9, welcome back to the classes once again. As you know, we are doing the age of the Guptas. In the previous class, we studied about the contribution in the field of education during the Gupta period, where we specifically saw or learnt about a topic, the Nalanda University. Now, today we are going to cover three short topics. That is one, according to your syllabus, with regard to it is science, culture. Science and culture. With regard to culture, we will be taking up a temple. Okay, one temple known as the Vishnu temple, or this Vishnu temple is also known as Dasavatara temple. Okay. Now, before I go ahead with that, once again I remind you, the Gupta period is referred as the golden age of Indian culture because a lot of development in the field of science, art, literature and culture took place during the Gupta periods. Before the Gupta periods, one culture was being practiced. What was this culture? A style, it was a Greco-Roman style. Now, during the age of the Guptas, what happens? A new style of architecture and culture comes into existence. Because in the during time of Guptas, there was a revival of Hinduism. As such, many Hindu gods and goddesses became popular, and many temples, statues, idols were made and dedicated to all the different gods and goddesses. The prominent amongst them were the Vishnu and Shiva. Later on, we have the incarnation of Vishnu, such as Rama and Krishna. Now, let's take up the Vishnu temple. Vishnu temple. Vishnu temple was built during the 6th century AD or 6th century AD. It is situated in Deoghar. Deoghar, that is in UP, Jhansi. Okay, these things are important. Vishnu temple was built when 6th century AD. Where is it situated? Deoghar. That is in UP in Jhansi. Now the Vishnu temple is also known as Dasavatara temple. Dasavatara temple. Why? Because in this temple, in and around the platforms and the walls of the temple, there are the depicts or pictures showing the 10 avatars or the incarnations of Lord Vishnu. That is why it is called as Dasavatara temples. Okay? Why? Because around the walls there are what you call pictures, drawing and what you call statues, what you call depicting the 10 avatars or 10 incarnations of Lord Vishnu. Now, specific features, what are the things developed into place? New style of architecture developed during the Gupta period. Before the Guptas, the temples were there, but the temples had a flat roof. What kind of roof? Flat roof. For the first time, a new style of architecture came into existence. From a flat roof temple, what happens? Now, pointed shikharas came into existence. The flat roof was replaced by the pointed tower or the shikharas. That is the first one. New style came into existence. What was that? From flat roof, pointed shikharas were built in the temples. Okay? Now, most of the temples were built with stone, bricks and other materials which are available. But major of the temples were built with stones and bricks. Now, when you talk about what you call the Vishnu temple, structural features, I'm telling you, it stands on a white platform. It stands on a white platform. It's a white platform. Okay? And this white platform, it stands on a white platform. And you can approach the temple from all the four sides, that means the east, west, north and the south, through the flight of stairs. That is the structural feature. What is it? It stands on a white platform. That's the temple. Okay? The temple, pointed shikaras were there. So, it stands on a white platform and it can be approached from all four sides through the flight of stairs. Okay? Now, this flight of stairs or these platforms are decorated with sculptures. Okay? These platforms are decorated with sculptures. It is decorated with sculptures. That means what I mean to say is there are drawings, sculptures where scenes from the life of Lord Krishna, Lord Rama has been portrayed or sculpted in the platform. Are you getting it? First one, it stands on the white platform. The temple can be approached from all four corners through the flight of stairs. And these platforms are decorated with sculptures. And these sculptures, what are they? These are the scenes from the life and actions of Lord Rama and Krishna. Okay? Third one. What is it made of? It is made of stones, bricks and so on. Made of what? Stones, bricks. Okay? Now, within the temple, there is a specific structure known as the inner chamber or the Garbha Griha. Specifically in this particular Vishnu temple, there is an inner chamber known as Garbha Griha. Garbha Griha, especially in this Vishnu temple, there is an inner chamber known as Garbha Griha, which is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. Dedicated to Lord Vishnu. Within the Vishnu temple at Devgarh, there is a specific picture known as the inner chamber of the Garbha Griha, which is dedicated to specifically Lord Vishnu, where he is depicted, or Lord Vishnu is shown lying or sleeping on the coil of a serpent or a snake or Sheshnaga. Sheshnaga. Okay? Are you getting it? One important feature of the Vishnu temple is that it has an inner chamber, a Garbha Griha, which is specifically dedicated to Lord Vishnu, where Lord Vishnu is depicted or shown lying or sleeping on a coil of a serpent or a snake known as Sheshnaga. Okay? These are the only things which you need to know. Vishnu temple, location, when it was built, and it was built during the time of the Guptas. Okay? It is also known as the Dasavatara temple because of the 10 avatars or incarnations which are depicted on the 10 incarnation of Vishnu, which is depicted on what? The walls of the temples. Now, new style of construction or architecture developed during the age of the Guptas because of the revival of Hinduism and so on. Earlier, they had a flat roof. For the first time, during the time of Guptas, the flat roof of the temple were replaced with a tower or a shikara. I tried to show you the drawing. Then, Vishnu temple stands on a wide platform, okay, which can be approached. The temple can be approached from all four sides through the flight of stairs. And the platform is depicted, decorated with scenes from the life and actions of Lord Rama and Krishna. Okay, it is made of stones and bricks. One other specific feature of the temple is that it has an inner chamber known as the Garbha Griha, dedicated to Lord Vishnu, where he is seen or shown lying or sleeping on a coil of a serpent, okay, known as Sheshnaga. So these are the only things that you need to know from this section with regard to the culture, new style of architecture, Vishnu temple. Now let us go ahead, move ahead with the other short section with regard to science. Here we'll be studying about Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta. You have heard about it. What is it? Aryabhatta, have you heard? Yes. The first satellite that was sent to the space was named after this great astronomer. Okay? First Indian satellite that was sent, Aryabhatta, was sent or named after this great astronomer. And Aryabhatta was a great mathematician as well as an astronomer. Okay? Now, what are his contributions with regard to science? We'll be studying slowly. First thing, let us see his works. The first word of Aryabhatta is Aryabhatya. Aryabhatta. Aryabhatya. Now, this Aryabhatta mostly deals with mathematics. It's his work, the writings or the work of Aryabhatta. It deals with maths. Topics such as arithmetic, geometry, trigonometry, algebra, etc. have been discussed, or we come to know about mathematics, topics such as geometry, trigonometry, algebra from the book called as Aryabhatya. So you need to know the name of the book. Second important book that he wrote was Surya Siddhanta. Surya Siddhanta, where he explains with regard to the causes of solar and lunar eclipse. Okay? In the book Surya Siddhanta, Aryabhatta explains the causes of solar and lunar eclipse. Now this was there during the 5th century, 6th century AD. It was done. And Aryabhatta was the first Indian astronomer to prove and say that the earth is spherical and it revolves around the sun. Aryabhatta was the first Indian to prove and say that the earth is spherical and it revolves around the sun. Someone else had done. When you talk about the human history, I have mentioned, was it Copernicus? That was in the 14th to 15th century. This was done, Aryabhatta proved it and told during the 5th to 6th century AD. Are you getting it? Now, what are his other contributions? With regard to science, he was the first one to tell, Indian astronomer to tell, the earth is spherical, and explain the causes of solar and lunar eclipse by telling that the earth revolves around the sun. Okay? The next one, with regard to mathematics, if we talk about it, he was the first one to find the formula. Finding the area of a triangle. Okay, he was the first mathematician who came up with the formula to find the area of a triangle. This is a triangle, okay, area of a triangle. Next one, he calculated or found the exact value of pi. You know the pi, isn't it? Symbol. Pi. The exact value of pi, which is around 3.1416. He was the first one to find out the exact value of pi. Got it? Okay, once again, Aryabhatta was a great mathematician and astronomer during the time of the Guptas. His contributions with regard to the field of science, first and foremost, he wrote a book called Aryabhatya, which deals with mathematics, covering topics such as geometry, algebra, trigonometry, etc. Then there is another great work of Aryabhatta known as Surya Siddhanta, where he explains the causes of solar and lunar eclipse. Okay? And Aryabhatta was the first one to prove that the earth is spherical and revolves around the sun. With regard to science, he explained the cause of solar and lunar eclipse and the revolution of the earth around the sun. Then, in the field of mathematics, he found out, he was the one who found out the formula to calculate the value of area of a triangle. Next one, he found out the exact value of pi. Okay, if you know this much, it's more than enough. Now the last topic that you need to know according to your syllabus is the works of Kalidasa. Works of Kalidasa. This is with regard to literature, mostly with regard to literature. Now Kalidasa is said to be the greatest literary genius of the Gupta period. What is it known as? How is it known as? Greatest literary genius of the Gupta period. Now, there are certain works written by Kalidasa which are very, very important and which you need to know. And amongst them, we have the first one is Abhijana Sakuntalam. Abhijana Sakuntalam, popularly known as Shakuntala. Popularly known as what? Sakuntala. Okay, and this book is said to be the greatest literary production in the world. It was done by Kalidasa. Next one, the other two dramas. He also wrote two very, very important dramas. They are Malavikagni Mitra. Malavikagni Mitra and Vikramor Vaishya. Say Vikramor Vaishya. Vikramor Vaishya. These are two great dramas written by Kalidasa. Besides this, Abhijana Sakuntalam or Shakuntala, greatest literary production of the world, he wrote two dramas, Malavikagni Mitra and Vikramor Vaishya. Added to that, he also wrote two great epics at that time. They are Raghu Vamsha. What? Raghu Vamsha. Raghu Vamsha and Kumara Sambhava. These are two great epics written by Kalidasa. Now, the last work or last important work that you need to know about Kalidasa is he wrote a lyrical poetry. Lyrical poetry. Lyrical poetry means poem which can be sung. Okay? So, he wrote two lyrical poetry and this word Ritu Samana. Ritu Samara and Megadatta. Megadatta. What are these? Lyrical poetry. Lyrical poetry. These are the works of Kalidasa, who was the greatest literary genius of the Gupta period. Now, from the works of Kalidasa, we get to know or we come to know or we get some information with regard to the society, religion, culture that prevailed during the time of the Gupta period. Okay? So Kalidasas for Abhijana Shakuntalam or Shakuntala. What is it? It is the greatest literary production in the world. Second one, he wrote 2 dramas, Malavi Kagni Mitra, Vikramo Vaishya drama. Then 2 epics, Raghuvamsa and Kumara Sambhava. And he wrote 2 lyrical poetry. What are they? Ritu Samara and Megha Datta. So with this we come to the end of the Gupta, come to the end of the chapter according to the new revised syllabus. Please go through the books and do follow them. Whatever is necessary for you to know, that I've already explained. And if you have any problems and all, please do ask in the group or you can find out. And there are certain questions at the end of the chapter. According to my book, it is page number 77. Okay? Please try to answer those questions related to the revised syllabus. Then please do this. In page B77, history 77 and 78, there are questions. There are structured essay type questions. There is a question based on the Vishnu temple. You may get it for picture study also. So please do that. Okay? Bye. Thank you this much for today. Stay safe. Take care. So next class we move ahead with the next chapter. Good day.